Hi, welcome to my complete Archer guide. Archer, aka Emiyashido, oops, is that spoilers? Anyways, he is coming as the second Fate Stay Night collab character in version 3.4. In this video, I'll be going through everything about how to build and play the best waifu, covering his best Lycorns, Relic sets, Planar Ornaments, teams, and many more. Before we start, I'm doing a giveaway of 2 supply passes / welcome moons to my subscribers at 7k subs, so make sure you subscribe. First of all, what does Archer do? Archer is a quantum unit following the path of the hunt. His skill costs 2 skill points and does damage to a single target while entering the circuit connection state. During this state, damage dealt is increased, and if you use skill, the turn does not end. This state ends when you have used 5 skills or run out of skill points. His ultimate does damage to a single target while gaining 2 charges of talent. His talent consumes a charge and launches a follow-up attack while gaining a skill point whenever any ally attacks an enemy. And for his technique, it does damage and gains a charge. For his bonus traits abilities, the first increases the max skill point of the team by 2, the second gains a charge on battle start, and the third increases crit damage if a teammate gains a skill point while there are 4 skill points or more. For his bonus stat boost, he has some quantum damage bonus, attack and crit rate, and for his traits leveling priorities, you want to focus on skill first, then ultimate, then talent is ideal. Overall, Archer has a very simple kit, but that is to be kinda expected out of a free character, but I personally would like to see a bit more, especially his unlimited Bladeworks ultimate. However, despite this simple kit on paper, he'll be a very fun and interesting character to play, as his skill basically allows him to keep attacking until you run out of skill points. Of course, the limit of 5 attacks is only for Eidolons, but being able to attack 3 or 4 times will be really fun. Now for how to actually build him, starting with Archer's best Lycorns. To begin, of course, his best in slot will be his signature Lycorn, which increases his crit rate while increasing his attack if the skill point limit is 6 or more and when using skill. Clearly, this is a very specific Lycorn for him. The 6 skill point or more is only achievable as of patch 3.4 with him or Sparkle, and the stacking attacks activates much faster with Archer spamming skill consecutively. For other options, Dr. Ratio's signature and Topaz's signature are pretty good as well, since both are just good 5-star hunt Lycorns that also support FUA. But do note that Dr. Ratio's does require you to run debuffers to activate the Lycorn fully. Other than that, S5 Cruising is a great option, S5 Swordplay is an okay placeholder, and the new Hunt Battle Pass Lycorn is great as well, since it gives crit damage and increases skill and FUA damage, which is perfect for him. Moving on to Archer's stat breakpoints and main stats. For his breakpoints, first you want to decide your speed depending on the teammates you are playing him with. If you are running him with Sparkle, going slower is ideal. If you're running him with Sunday, it can be either +1 speed or slower. And if you're not running him with Sparkle or Sunday, going as fast as possible is ideal. Then the traditional DPS stats can be focused on, so a good crit ratio and a good attack. So his main stats will be crit body, speed / attack boots, quantum / attack orbs, and attack rope. Body is crit as he is a crit DPS. Boost can be speed or attack depending on the speed you choose. Orb can be either quantum or attack depending on which substat rolls are better, and rope is attack as he scales off attack. So with his stats done, here are Archer's best Relic sets and Planar Ornaments. Starting with 4-piece Genius as his best in slot Relic set. 4-piece Genius has been one broken Relic set since 1.0, and it still stays true. Defense Ignore is a very strong stat, especially if you're pairing Archer with more defense shreds like Cypher and Silver Wolf, which speaking of, also makes 4-piece Pioneer also very good if you are using these debuffers. 4-piece Poet is also very good, but you are unable to get the crit rate, however it is still a very good set nevertheless. 4-piece Wave Strider is also a good set, but the uptime can be shaky, so do keep that in mind. And 4-piece Scholars is a decent placeholder until you get a good set for the rest. As for Planar Ornaments, routinely Arena is his best in slot as he is a skill-based DPS, but Inert Sacerdo is also a fine alternative, and Duran is a good placeholder. Next up is Archer's best Eidolons. Even recovers 2 skill points after using skill 3 times within his skill state. This is what I mentioned before on how you can get up to 5 skills within one skill state. as even with Sparkle, you are still sitting at 9 skill points at most, so you need this to reach the 5 skill cap. So it's an extra instance of its main damage source, therefore it is really good. E2 makes ultimate reduce quantum res and apply quantum weakness. Another pretty good Eidolon, especially if you're playing him with other damaging quantum units. E3 and 5 are just trace levels, but since so much of his damage is reliant on his skill, E3 is actually pretty good. E4 increases ultimate damage, and E6 also makes him gain a skill point on turn start, while increasing skill damage and making it ignore defense too. Overall, Archer has very good Eidolons. All of these are pretty simple, but are all very impactful to himself and his teammates. Each Eidolon has very good damage increase, except E5, but that is to be expected. So for the question of E1 versus S1, this time it will be E1 for actually two main reasons. First is that it is just a higher damage increase, as you can skill another time, even if you don't reach the cap of 5. But also because you're able to get his Litecoin for free if you pull 200 times in patch 3.4, so there's no reason to get 2 copies of the Litecoin. And last but not least, Archer's best teammates and teams, starting with Sparkle. As you can probably tell by now, Archer is a unit focused on gaining and using a lot of skill points, to the point that without Sparkle, he is actually quite handicapped by his own kit. So Sparkle with his skill point increase and gain is able to alleviate that handicap and is able to fully unlock his kit, while also being just a good support for a DPS like Archer. Other teammates I want to mention are quantum supports, specifically Tribby, Cypher, and Silver Wolf, as not only do they provide great buffs/debuffs, they also contribute to Sparkle's trace that increases attack for the team. Tribby is just an insane buffer overall and can help with AoE situations. Cypher just does good damage alongside a great debuff, and Silver Wolf, after the buff, can be very good as well, especially if you need the quantum weakness implant if you don't have Archer E2. So with that said, the best teams of Archer start with Sparkle, Tribby, and a Sustain. Sparkle is basically a must, but can be Sunday, but not Bronya, as you cannot play negative SP units with Archer. Tribby can be Cypher, Silver Wolf, or RMC, each bringing something unique like Cypher's high personal damage, Silver Wolf's weakness implant, and RMC's action advance, and the Sustain is ideally someone that is SP positive, or neutral at the very least. So units like Gallagher, Locha, Aventuring, and to an extent, Huohuo and Fushan too. And for the free-to-plays, Pella and Hanya are okay options until you can upgrade these two characters. So yeah, that does it for the Archer guide. It seems like Starro is staying with the female-only element of Quantum. No, Emiya is not a male. He is the best wife you could ever ask for. Tricks aside though, Archer is a very simple unit, but I'm still looking forward to his extremely fun skill spam playstyle. It will definitely remind me of the good old Silly days. Which speaking of, when's the Silly buffs, Hoyo?